This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Halas Hall Report. It's Sunday, it's football. We aren't playing, but there's football, and we have football to talk about for the Bears. With me, of course, as always, is Woody. Good morning, Woody.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Well, yes, for your East Coasters, it would be afternoon, especially for those who have no opinion.
Yep.
As Woody and I have no opinion on anything usually. And then, of
Nope.
course, we got Mike the Bear fan, our producer, in the back doing some things and sending stuff out and creating cool little slides for us to look at. And just, yeah, he just does amazing work back there. I'm sure he'll have something for us here in a minute. But I guess we can start with Ben Johnson. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but more has come out. Um, the only something that concerns me, Woody, a little bit, because we're paying Eberflus, who, by the way, is now the defensive coordinator for the uh, Dallas Cowboys. But we're still paying Flus for 2 more years, right? So then we give Ben Johnson this. He is now the 7th highest paid head coach in the league as a first-time head coach.
It's a lot.
Yeah, for a first-time head coach. I mean, here's the list. Oops, let me take Luca's comment down. Sorry about that. All right, there's the list. I get Reed. He wins Super Bowls. I get Sean Payton to a degree. They did pay a hefty price for it just to get him. Mike Tomlin, 15 years, never a losing season. Okay, get it. Harbaugh, okay. McVay, okay. I don't get Kyle Shanahan. Well, I do. He wins. He just can't win a Super Bowl. And then Ben Johnson. And then you got the other Harbaugh. And then you got Campbell and McDermott. I mean, you look at that list, almost everyone here has won a Super Bowl.
And why John Harbaugh is not getting more money is beyond me.
It is. Both the Harbaughs killing it, though, making good money. So I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, look, I think he's going to work out. I think we'll have him for the full 5. Maybe we'll finally have a coach that'll be here for, 5+ years. We haven't had that since Lovey. In our lifetime, Woody, we've had 2 coaches that have been long-term, Ditka and Lovey, and that's it.
Huh. Before I was born, yeah.
Well, you were born for Ditka.
Yep. Like before, I mean, you got to think about Papa,
Right, but I just said in our lifetime, though.
In our lifetime, yes.
Ditka and Lovey.
Yep.
The other thing that Bears fans will like, second youngest head coach in the league now.
Yep.
Man, by the way, happy birthday to Mike. But Mike, you're an old man now. You know why? Because the head coach of the Chicago Bears is younger than you.
Fuck yeah, he is.
That's how you know you're getting older, man. When the head coach of your football team is younger than you, you're like, man, I must be getting old.
It's the first ever for me.
Good morning, Matt. Well, yeah, it's because you're getting old, man.
Definitely goes fast.
It goes faster. I can't believe north of 50. We'll just put it that way. It goes fast. It gets like, holy crap, where the years go? Where did the seasons go? I mean, it feels like this season for us was like, like it started yesterday and it's already over. It's like, holy crap, where does the time go? KOC is rumored what now, Luca? KOC is rumored to sign a 5-year, he just signed an extension, Luca, like last week. I don't remember the particulars, but he signed an extension, which is great for the rest of the division because now we know that you guys are dedicated to the one and out playoff appearance schedule. No, that was a good signing by them for Luca's Vikings. I mean, dude, this if you look at this division, I think head coach wise, if you were to look at this division objectively, you'd be like, okay, you've got 4 good head coaches. Yeah, the numbers haven't been released yet, which is funny because he signed a contract like 4 or 5 days ago, Luca. So it's weird that the numbers aren't out yet. But I mean, this division's got a bunch of good coaches, right? We got a ton of talent here. But speaking of coaching staff, the poor Detroit Lions keep losing more coaches. So the coaches in black are new coaches. The coaches in white are holdovers from the last coaching regime. So I was really happy, Woody, with Antoine Randall L. coming.
Yeah, he was quick. He played for the other Pennsylvania team, so hopefully he can fucking do something like he did not with the Pennsylvania teams because they all suck. But I'm happy with that. Surprised, the Al Harris, former Packer, defensive back and pass game coordinator.
Yeah, stole him from the Dallas Cowboys, and like that dude's just a beast. I mean, you look at him with the way he's just a beast. Dude's a beast.
Right.
Yeah, definitely has some intensity as a coach. I remember Randall L though last season just running down the field on that one JMO play, which was
it happened more than that, but that one was more of the crucial one. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was a player, he was just excited. Yeah. But I like Randall L and Harris, old ex-players at the position that they're calling the plays from, or teaching. It's good. I just don't know about the Randall L head coach or assistant head coach. That kind of like questioned me.
Wait, the assistant head coach piece? Well,
yeah.
Because they had to do that, or it would have been a lateral move. That's the way you avoid the lateral move thing. And now he's been quote unquote promoted. Therefore, you don't have to ask permission to talk to him, this, that, and the other. Yeah, JT Barrett is a little bit of a wild card, but like Lucas said, man, everyone's working with him seems to like him. It doesn't matter though how much he could throw it. Those who teach can't, or something like that. It's that the old saying. Maybe he's one of those folks, right? I'm happy. We still kept our running back coaches. I'm happy with that. We don't have them on here, do we? No, you don't have them on this list.
Chris Morgan is gone, thank God.
Yeah, for those that was fair down, Mike. For those who,
well, I don't know why they fired the offensive line coach. I just don't fucking understand it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was our strong part of our offense. But go ahead.
I tell you, man, it was an asset.
God.
We do have some openings left. Yeah, we did let some guys go. On the D side, I'm okay with where we're at now. The guys who are in white can still be replaced. Special teams for me is still kind of like we were ranked like dead last almost in the league. But here's what's the running backs coach. I'm sorry, we didn't get rid of both of them though, did we? Because I like King. She's good back there. But so right now we need an OC, DC, the O-line coach, and the running backs coach. And here's some possible additions.
Did you say King, Ken?
Yeah, I thought she was still there.
The only person there, King, is Jeff King, and he's senior director of player.
She was the assistant running backs coach.
Yeah, she came from 49ers or Seattle, one of the two.
No,
Yeah, she was
I think it
actually
49ers.
she was actually pretty good. I hope they retained her on the staff somewhere. Maybe
They
she's
did-
just in limbo
they
right
didn't.
now.
Here, I'll screenshot the list,
Okay.
and then I'll give
So
you a minute.
now for OC,
Luke, I got hired. I'm just I wanted to announce it, but thanks for telling me.
well,
Ruined
Luca,
my,
we thought Woody was gonna get the job for the social media
I
manager.
did get it, but I was going to announce it. But Luca, what the fuck?
Jesus, Luca. All right, so who do you guys want to see for DC? Look, of all these four, right? I mean, honestly, the one that's most important to me is DC, because the offensive stuff, it's going to happen just with Ben Johnson a little bit, right? He's going to have some influence coaching wise on those positions, on those three offensive positions. For me, the big question more or less is like DC, because that's not Ben Johnson's side of the ball that he's uberly proficient at. So what were your thoughts on the DC position, Woody?
I'm just hearing a lot of Dennis Allen. There's no moves yet, no word. So really don't know. That's all I'm hearing. Wouldn't mind him being there. He's friends with Ben Johnson, but this is a job, not a social gathering. But that's all I'm hearing is Dennis Allen. I have not heard anything else on defensive coordinators.
Yoli.
There's been a couple of interviews made, but yeah, the only thing points back is at that, but there's no new updates at all. But I did get the Bears staff. There's the Bears staff right here. Up to date.
Jennifer King's still listed as an assistant coach.
Am I blind? I don't see it.
Yeah, where is she?
I just Googled it.
Oh, she's all right. Googled it, and she's still there. Yeah, they don't have the running back's assistant coach position on there either. Like,
do you want Steve on here now?
Well, give it a minute.
It depends. Where are you finding that at, Mike? Because I'm looking at Wikipedia because they do the updates.
Yeah, but Mike, if you look at this list of coaches, the assistant running backs coach position is not even listed on here.
No, I do see that. That's why I was asking where.
Yeah, I like Jennifer King. I hope they keep her.
Wikipedia is still saying she's there.
I am on Wikipedia.
Jeez.
The OC position doesn't matter as much to me, like I said, because look, Ben Johnson is calling the plays. We already know that. The DC though, that does make a difference. Bear down, Mike. What are you thinking about the DC position?
Go get Dennis Allen. What do we got to do? Get him.
Yeah, I think I think that's pretty much a done deal. They're just doing some interviews, maybe to meet the Rooney Rule. I got that, Mike. So maybe that could be it. Let me do something else real quick while we let's take a pin in this for a second. Let me pull this down, and let me introduce to everyone to the man who won the Lance Briggs photo. There it is. Week 18 prediction winner. He won an 8x10 Lance Briggs Auto JSA COA. Please, everyone, welcome Steve Nail to. I hope I said that right. To the show. Good morning, Steve.
Well, good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me, giving me this opportunity to thank you.
Steve, I got a question for you, and I asked
Sure.
Mike in pre-show.
Sure.
I will give you some money for that Lance Briggs picture because I wanted that the whole year, but we won't say nothing.
Hey,
He didn't earn it.
Well, congratulations. Hope you enjoy
thank
the coffee.
I appreciate it. I appreciate following you guys and listening to Bears talk. Always. I have been a Bears fan since 1963, so a lot of history following the Bears.
Man, Steve, you got me beat by about a decade there. So I feel young now. On a day,
I'm an old guy.
And on a day where Mike the Bear fan just became ancient, because he's now older than a head coach.
Oh yeah, well, they're getting younger and younger all the time.
Yeah, now we got the second youngest coach in the league coming in the next season.
Yeah,
What do you think about the Ben Johnson pickup?
Well, I like it, and I like what he's coming up with assistant coaches, some veteran guys that have experience. And I noticed he's looking at one of the Denver guys for a possible OC interview. I saw the former head coach from Stanford that had been working in personnel here.
Yep.
So we'll see how that pans out. But it looks like he's getting some high quality people. So I'm excited about that.
The only thing that I want to kind of, I don't want to put a damper on it, but I want to temper the expectations.
Yeah.
Is, the quote unquote all-star coaching staff quote that, a lot of these commentators are throwing around. And we know how Bears we know how our fan base gets.
Yes.
I mean, look at last year with Caleb. Oh my God, we're winning the Super Bowl. No one can touch us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought, Ken. That's what I thought right off the bat.
I mean, our fan base is like just so overexcited, and they should be excited for this. But, when you start throwing around Ben Johnson, super guru with all-star coaching staff, and oh my God, this all-star lineup with all these, it's like, oh geez, it's just a recipe for Bear fans to like live in Lululand, the Lululand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And, I got looking back in history with RG3, and I think this year Caleb Williams' stats were better than RG3's when he won the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, this quarterback class this year, all of them were pretty darn good.
I like this year's quarterbacks. You talk about the 1983 class, and we all know what a great class that was. If Daniels and Nix and Penix and Williams all pan out, that's going to be a heck of a group.
Oh, Daniels did pan out already.
He's going to do. JJ being out last year, but he's got a good team to play for. So I mean, that's positive for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Steve, I'm gonna ask you another question.
Sure.
Oof.
Woody's coming with the hard-hitting questions today.
Bring it.
Hey, put them on the spot.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot, Steve, since you won my picture.
Since I got your picture. Yeah.
Well, overall, what'd you think about the Caleb Williams draft? Do you think we drafted the right quarterback, but just no coaching, or we just drafted the wrong quarterback right off the bat?
No, we got the right guy. I just think the team was in turmoil this year with all of the change because the defense looked great at times. But when you have, like I know, as soon as that Washington Hail Mary, we were in the fog for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that attitude is everything. All those guys in that league are talented. Coaching does make a difference. And but when you go through 3 different OCs this year and 2 head coaches, I don't know how that does anyone, specifically a rookie, any good.
Now, Steve, are you in the Chicago area?
No, I live in Colorado.
Oh, you're like the rest of us, all over the place. So
my niece just moved out there to Golden.
Oh, I grew up not far from there. As a matter of fact, I went to the high school, which was called Arvada West, which I had kids that lived in Golden, went to high school there.
Nice.
I spent the NFL draft in San Luis last year.
Wow.
Oh, you fucking bragger.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's a town. It's funny about San Luis. It's the oldest town in township in Colorado. It's a small town. You drive into it, the first thing you see is a weed shop. You get to the middle of it, there's a weed shop. You get to the end of it, there's another weed shop. But they did have a good coffee shop in between. So
great.
Yeah.
Now Mike's moving now. Great.
Yeah, so he's going to move permanently down there. Huh?
Well, I've got 5.5 acres, so he can throw a tent up on a corner of it, and he's fine.
Well, they're in every town now.
It actually was funny because I can't remember the name of the bigger town that was not. It was 45 minutes from us, but there were no weed shops and one vape shop, and I was like, "Wow, I see weed shops everywhere." And then you come to this nice bigger town. I think there's a small college there, and they had no weed shops, but like one little vape shop. I was like, "Okay, interesting place." I actually enjoyed Colorado, so Colorado was interesting. I used to travel out there a little bit. I did college debate, so I'd go out to CSU out there in Boulder
and Fort Collins, yeah,
and it was funny because everyone out there was Raiders fans.
Well, we have a ton of Californians that have moved out here starting in the late 90s, specifically along the Front Range from Pueblo all the way up through Fort Collins. So they hit Denver, Boulder, that whole area. A lot of Raiders fans, yeah.
And Pueblo, speaking of that, nice new Harley Davidson. We stopped there last year. It's a brand new building. It was a nice dealership. But it's got to be interesting being a Bears fan in Colorado. I can't imagine there are many Bears bars.
Well, there's not a lot, but I'll hit the Bears aren't on TV here all the time. So I go to Old Chicago, and the guy, Jordan, the bartender down there, will have my seat ready and the TV on the Bears game for me. So he takes good care of me.
Interesting fact about Old Chicago restaurant chain, Steve. There is none in Chicago.
None in Chicago?
No.
Yeah, it's not a Chicago-based business.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, I don't think we have any where I'm at here in Florida, but I've seen them before. But hey, they love Chicago. They throw the Bears on for you, so therefore they're good in my book.
So that's good. Now, where are you at in Florida?
I'm in the Pensacola area in the Panhandle.
You just got snow.
Yeah, I got more snow than you guys probably have this winter. I got 10 inches. It's gone already. We're back in the 50s already. But,
that's comical. My son lives in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, just on the road from me.
Down the road. So they got 7.5 inches of snow at his place. And that was the all-time record.
Yeah,
my brother lives in Lakeland, and they got a few inches of snow. It didn't stick, but it was coming down, and Lakeland's by Tampa. Yep.
Yeah, he lives in Lakeland, Florida. For those who don't know, it's between Tampa and Orlando. And so I lived in Orlando for a while. When I was a company commander, half my unit was in Lakeland. So I was a company commander of the unit in Lakeland, which is also, by the way, Bears fans, where Desmond Clark is from. That's why I met Desmond Clark initially, is because I was in command of a unit there. But we call that town the gas station because it's where it sits between Tampa and Orlando. That's where people stop to get gas on their way to Tampa from Orlando.
And for any reason, if you need the Bears game, just hit me up. I stream every game. So
All right, that's good to know. Now, do you still have snow on the ground in Pensacola?
No, we're back in the 50s already, so it's already all gone.
Yeah,
It was just it lasted for basically yesterday. There was still a little bit left, but it was just so weird. Here, let me show you. Let me bring up a picture.
Well, I'm in Pennsylvania. We still have about 5 or 6 inches on the ground because it's been 4 degrees all week.
You sound like me.
Yeah.
It was three below when I got up this morning, and now it's up to a balmy 19. So
there you go.
Yeah,
I'll show you my
we're actually in the 30s, shockingly, but we've only got about 1 inch on the ground left.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That kind of looks like my yard right there.
Yeah, that was the day after. So that was the next day after the storm in the morning.
Jeez, they got to learn how to plow them damn streets.
Yeah,
and that's very rare to see palm trees and snow in the same picture.
That's what I said. Yeah, I was like, wow.
And the night before, actually, because it was a little bit windy, there was actually a good amount of snow on the palm trees. It was pretty freaky. My wife's from Puerto Rico, so she never had this. So she made me at 12 midnight, go walk the neighborhood with her so she could see all the pretty snow in the neighborhood. And it was just kind of surreal to see all the palm trees and almost a foot of snow. And it was something else, man. Hey, good morning, Bobby.
What's up, Robbie?
Robbie, sorry, if I could read this morning. It was interesting. We don't get that stuff here, and I grew up in Chicago, so I mean, I used to be a snow skier, all that good stuff. I was like,
yeah.
But they didn't plow. They did plow a couple roads, but they closed the roads here for about 2 days. But they got the plow trucks from Atlanta, ironically enough, because Atlanta has 3, and they came down and cleared a few roads. They used airplane de-icer on the bridges. No salt.
Well, you didn't just cancel 1 day of school. You said no school for the rest of the week.
The whole week. Yeah. The whole week. So it's funny because in Florida we get hurricane/rain days. So this year we had hurricane days off of school and we had snow days, which is a first. So, and my son got to learn on snow days doesn't mean you can get in your car and go drive to your buddy's house. A snow day here means the roads are closed, so you're not going anywhere. And he was not happy.
Yeah, I talked to my son about that, and he said, they would not allow you to drive.
State of
in
emergency.
Mobile. You couldn't drive. If you were out driving, they were going to ticket you. So he took his Bronco out and just drove around his neighborhood, which is in a kind of a gated or, area, kind of a secluded spot. So he did that because he's a University of Wyoming grad. So he's used to the cold and the snow and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
we drove the neighborhood. I drove around the neighborhood. She's like, "Are you sure we'll be okay?" I'm like, "Your car is all weather tires." What about the tires are all weather? What about the snow? I grew up learning how to drive in worse than this.
yeah.
And a couple of years ago, we were at Syracuse University, and I took them up to Fort Drum, and we started getting snow. So on the way back, there was like a foot and a half already, and I was cruising down the interstate at 65 miles an hour, like no big deal. So I'm used to it. And she was all, "Oh my goodness!" I just drove us around the neighborhood, drove us into the Sefco gas station, and there's actually an employee there, which shocked us. And then drove her home, and I'm like, driving the snow is nothing. I mean. But yeah, everything was shut down here. It was insane. It was insane. So, but yeah, you got this Lance Briggs photo. Are you going to put it on the wall?
Well, I tell you what I'll do is it's too cold to go out in my man cave. I don't have any heat out there. But when it heats up a little bit, I'll take it out there and put it between maybe a Urlacher and a Butkus picture and kind of maybe give you a little tour of the man cave area, all my Bears paraphernalia out there, and let you take a look at it.
Sweet. Yeah, the sports mem, which Mike can kind of blame me for getting him into it a little bit. I can blame Rob Haspels from the Hala Hour. When I retired, that's what I did for like 3 years to build my man cave.
Yeah.
It gets addictive. I have 3 Lance Briggs myself. I have a mini, a full size, and a photo.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets addictive, man. But it looks good. It looks good. You're going to enjoy it.
So, well, I saw that picture that you sent me of it, and it looks great. So I'll make sure to get back to you on that. And I appreciate you having me on. Thank you. So I'll let you guys get back to business and get my mug out of the way here.
Oh, Steve,
all right.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man. If you want to stay on longer, you can. You don't have to run. If you want to stay on with us, you can today.
Well, sure. I'll hang out for a few minutes and see what you guys are visiting about today. You got your picks in for today's games?
Oh yeah.
We didn't get there yet.
Everybody knows who I'm picking.
Okay, I guess we'll I was going to talk about some possible Ben Johnson additions to the roster, which and then we'll get into today's games. So we know he likes the 2-headed running back, right? So here's some guys who might be available, right? Najee Harris, who kind of had a down year with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Javonte Williams from Denver and Becton from Philly, who basically, that's the right guard. The right guard and running back. Geez, thank you, producer Mike. But I guess the bigger question is I will start with Steve. Do you think we need to add another running back? Or do you think our running back room is good?
Well, there were so few attempts for some of the backs this year. It was difficult to tell. I do like what they did in Detroit with their 2-back system, and I like teams that use 2 running backs and have situational backs. I think that's always a good idea. I was looking at a few mock drafts already, and they had the Bears taking a running back in the first round. No. I don't know about that, but what do you guys think?
No, I'm with you, Steve. I saw that the mock draft with that kid going at 10, the running back. What's his name now?
Entry.
Greedy.
Yeah, Greedy. I'm like, really? I mean, we just gave Swift that big money. We've got Roschon Johnson coming into year 3. We really liked Wheeler before he got injured at the end of the preseason last year. I was like, and that's our most pressing need for the first round pick is a running back. I was like, no. What do you? I know you don't want a running back in the first round, but what do you think about adding via free agency or a draft another running back?
Well, like you said, and I said this last week too. I liked how before he got injured, I liked the way Wheeler played. Played awesome in the preseason. Then he got hurt out for the year. I don't think. No, that's a no for me. Even in free agency, nope.
I mean, I think Greedy's like a luxury pick.
Well, I think if we didn't have Wheeler coming back, because he did show signs that there would be a possibility, because he'd take
Yeah.
Homer's position.
Yep.
Homer's not a big player. He's more like a special teams needed guy,
Right.
and Harris is more than a special, and so is Williams more than a special teams player. They're more, running back style 1 or 2.
And if we drafted the kid, could you just imagine Swift's mental mind state? Like, oh God, Here
Roshan
we go
Johnson. Oh
again.
my God, I'm getting carries taken away from me again.
Mhm.
It's
More.
Detroit all over. Am I going to be getting? Are they going to ship me out? I had this in Detroit. I mean, not that that's the factor that will decide it for polls, but I would just think offensive line would be more of more of a factor. And like Najee trying to sign him, Robbie. Geez, I don't know why I keep saying Bobby. Robbie's right. Najee's going to want to get paid.
Yep.
Right. And then the draft, I agree with Matt. O-line all day, all O-line. I mean,
I don't care who it is. You take that best offensive lineman your first pick. You don't trade up. You don't trade back. You take the best one. This is an offensive line draft coming out of college, and there's 2 big guys coming out. And
Well, we got big free agents to decide if we're going to keep any or let people go in the free agency. Like, we got to look at all that before we look into the draft, because as we do this every year, very seldom we're correct. Usually they stir a different direction, like, whoa, curveball, what just happened?
well, yeah, of course.
I hate doing the mock draft at this point, because you still got your guy like Sanborn will get re-signed, right? We got the guys that we have to figure out who are we re-signing, who are we not. Then you get the free agency blitz, right? So free agency is going to change your draft plans, right? Because let's say we get an edge rusher. Let's say we go out and get Young. We take him up from NOLA, and we add Young. So now we got we reunite Young with Sweat. But we probably don't have to draft an edge rusher at the one of our top 3 picks now. Maybe it's more of an interior defensive lineman we get, or let's say we get all these great offensive linemen, and everyone's like, oh, we can go sign this guy from Kansas City and this guy from Atlanta. Let's say we actually were to get them because we have the money to do it. Then maybe we do take a running back. If we solve the needs via free agency, now you can take the luxury pick at number 10.
Yeah, that sounds right. Now, being down in Pensacola, you're going to head up to South Alabama and watch any of the Senior Bowl practices or game?
Well, they do that here. It's an interesting story for you, Steve. So the Andrews Institute is here. In fact, my wife just had her surgery, her hip replacement done by them, and she had her knee cleaned out from them as well. So being a vet TRICARE, I actually get, the NFL surgery department. So all the players who are going to want to go to the draft, they're already here. And they stay at hotels on Pensacola Beach, and they bus them in every day to Andrews, and they do go through all their workout regimens and stuff at Andrews. So a couple years ago, I'm in a local store, and I run into a guy who's obviously a football player, and we get to talking. Because he's got his college gear on for the team he played for and everything. And I say, hey, so you here for Andrews for the draft? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, what are you? I'm an offensive lineman. Oh. So, how long, then how long do you think it'll take you? Where do you think you'll go in the draft? It's all between the 3rd and 5th round, which, by the way, he did get drafted between the 3rd and 5th round. And I said, well, how long do you think it'll take you to be a star? He's like, well, it normally takes 2 to 3 years, which it took him about 2 to 3 years. I said, was there any one place? I didn't tell him I was a Bears fan yet. I didn't have any Bears gear on that day. I said, is there any one place in the league you would not want to get drafted? Green Bay. Really? Why not Green Bay? I hate the cold weather. He's from Louisiana originally. The name of that player, the starting right tackle for the Green Bay Packers, Zach Tom.
Wow. And I'm sure he's happy to be there now, even though he didn't want to go there. Just because he's in the NFL and he's starting.
Yeah, I really wanted him in Chicago too, though. He's a good kid. But they're all here, and they do a day over here at Wahoo Stadium. They'll sign autographs, stuff like that. A couple years ago, my wife actually was getting a tattoo by Boneface from Ink Master, and her and Trey Lance are tattoo buddies because he was going to tattoo right next door, and they sat there cutting it up while they're getting tat. So we get all those kids down here before they come to the draft. We get them down here during the season when they get injured. So yeah, this is an interesting place.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they had a nice sports bar in Pensacola. I was there in Pensacola, not this season, but the previous season, and they had the TVs marked already with which games were going to be up on
We
that.
actually have a Bears bar here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't been there. I was going to try to do a show. We were trying to do the show live remote, and I just didn't get to it this season. It flew by so fast. But there is actually a Bears bar here in Pensacola. I've got 4 or 5 other Bear fans that live in my neighborhood because I see their flags and their stickers. This is
All right.
heavy Midwest. Lots of Bears, lots of Packers, lots of Lions, lots of Vikings fans.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we're close to NOLA, so, lots of Saints fans as well. But for those of us who don't do the FSU, Bama, all that kind of good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you have so many fans there because they're from the Midwest. They get tired of the cold, then they go there.
Yeah.
To try to, get the nicer weather and stuff like that. But I'd like to make a comment on Robbie. Robbie said something about Najee getting paid. The running backs don't really get paid anymore like they used to. They're more
but he's going to want that 8 to 10 mil, especially after the reemergence of the importance of the running back on these playoff teams. I mean, I think the value of running backs will go up a little bit. We devalued it a couple years ago, right? When Saquon and they were all up for that contract. But look at the year these big free agent running backs have had. I think the running back market, the price is going to start. And Najee's not Saquon, but I think he's going to want more than $5 million a year.
Yeah, I was happy to see King Henry and Saquon have great seasons this year for veteran running backs and just emphasize the running back position again. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I think Najee he'll want more than Swift. Put it that way. I think he'll want more than Swift.
Yeah.
And he'll probably get it.
Well, but, he played pretty decent. He had over 1,000, but just running backs don't get paid until it gets reset, and who knows when that is.
Well, I think that we're starting to see a little bit of that, though, Mike, with King Henry and Josh Jacobs having a great year he had. Aaron Jones had a good year. And Najee's probably in that group.
No, Angel.
On the fringe of that group, he had a better year than Swift.
That's not yours.
Now, were you disappointed with Swift's performance this year?
Not with that offensive line.
Yeah.
So
he did what he could.
I was in DC for that game, and he was running right at me for that touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Up the sideline.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we can contain the edge, which the offensive line didn't do a great job of overall, but they had their moments this year, he's gone. He's going to hit a home run a lot.
Well, I like that play, the concept of that play. I remember that because they put Komet in motion and he kicked out. And then they had someone else sealing inside, and there was the alley right there. It was good angle for those guys to block on, and he, didn't get touched.
Yeah, and then the offensive line, they kick out and get some good blocks downfield too. We saw that with a couple of his touchdowns this year.
Yeah, we also saw it on that screen pass from DJ in the last game against the Packers for the touchdown. Great offensive line, got out there and got, created that alley for him.
It's interesting with this offensive line because I've said this for a couple of weeks. If you look at our offensive line talent, the talent they had in Washington, the talent level is about the same. It's just the coaching that's different.
Yeah.
So I like Swift. I think Roschon didn't get used nearly as much, I think, as any of us wanted. I think that, we use them more this year and now free up Swift and with better O-line play. Overall, I like Swift. That's why I don't know why. Oh, we have to get a running back. Like Bears fans in general are just kind of mystifying me sometimes, Steve, because our O-line is terrible. Okay, well, Swift just missed 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
had some big home runs, and but our running back sucks. What were you watching?
Yeah, well, and that's what I liked about Swift. He is a home run hitter. He can score from long distance and, break off those big runs. I liked what I saw from him. Another run comes to mind is against Detroit where he's hurdling guys and, right up the middle. Yeah.
He would have the second fastest mile per hour time.
Really?
This year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand the draft either. It's just that these mediocre, delusional Bears fans, they just want the best player. we need to draft our needs, not the best player. So that's why I said offensive line, first pick, no trade down, no trade up. You either pick Banks or you pick Will, whichever one's available.
So real quick, because we got about 20 minutes left, let's talk about the games we wish we'd be playing today, but we're not. Maybe next year, right? We'll do the Cubs saying, maybe next year.
Maybe next year, yeah.
Yeah, wait till next year. So today we got the AFC game is the first game. It's the Reps versus Buffalo. I mean, Kansas City versus Buffalo.
Yeah.
So you're near the AFC town there. What's the buzz in Colorado? I take it they're all Bills fans out there this weekend.
Absolutely. Everybody's a Bills fan this week. Hate the Chiefs, and you see everything is about the refs, making calls, all the funny things people are putting on Facebook and things about Kansas City, sporting new uniforms, and it's an official's uniform. And it's everyone's a Bills fan. Yeah. A lot of Josh Allen fans around here since he went to nearby UW.
So I take it. Is anyone actually going to pick the Chiefs to win today? I mean, okay, I know none of us want the Chiefs to win. I don't think any of us actually want Kansas City to win this game, but is anyone actually going to take Kansas City to win the game, or is this Josh Allen's, does he break through finally and get the W on the road and kind of, finally take himself in Buffalo to the next level?
Yeah. Great question. I don't know. Kansas City is still very good, and Kelsey, is playing at a real high level right now with Mahomes. That connection, but I just think Josh Allen is a little bit different this year. I just hope it doesn't come down to him scoring and then having a minute left and Kansas City going down and with him sitting on the bench again watching the game go by. Last week, fortunately, they missed the 2-point conversion, and so they won. But I'd rather see Josh Allen on the field going down to score this time.
Yeah, Woody. I mean, I'm tired of seeing Mahomes with these 1 minute, 30-second left freaking wins, and I'm just tired of it. I'm hoping Buffalo I hope it's a 2-score game.
I hope Buffalo wins. I do miss Patrick Mahomes' brother dancing around. We didn't see it this year. But yeah, I like I said, I want Buffalo to win, but Buffalo's going against 2 opponents today. I hate to say it, and I don't like to say the refs win the game.
Yeah.
But I do want Buffalo to win, but I don't know about today. I really don't.
I mean, Kansas City, everyone talks about Mahomes and the offense. It's that defense that's really their defense carried that team this year for the first half of the season. One of the younger defenses in the league, very good defense, but I think the toughest defense in the division they beat last week in Buffalo. I think the toughest defense in the division was Baltimore, and Allen beat it. And the weather conditions in Kansas City doesn't matter. Not for this game. It doesn't. I mean, unless it's the only way that the weather would matter would be in a way in which it didn't favor Kansas City. It favored Buffalo because they're from a colder city that plays in a lot more snow. So there's going to be no weather that's going to affect Buffalo more than Kansas City in this game. So the weather's a non-factor, and Kansas City just beat probably their toughest defensive competition in the AFC. That's why I think that Buffalo is going to be able to overcome Kansas City's defense today.
I'm hoping that's the case, and I agree. I wish it was a 2-score game or something and not coming down to Kansas City in the last seconds. And Buffalo's defense plays well at time, but it seems to me that the calls for Kansas City always come at a very crucial time. And it is strange to watch because they say, oh, Kansas City is penalized more than so-and-so. Yeah. But when it's 3rd and 5 and, something happens and they call a penalty and now it's automatic first down, defensive holding.
You get rough in the, you get a rough in the passer call with 2 defenders hitting themselves.
Yeah,
thinking
I
that
saw that
Mahomes-
too.
Oh,
That's
terrible.
terrible.
It's a 3rd and 11. Oh, there's a flag. Von Miller stared at Mahomes too hard.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, he made a threat. He said he was going to hit him. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I mean, but here's another interesting stat that JB from the Lions show brought up before the season started. Not this season, because I don't know what the number is for this season, but it's probably pretty good. Last year, Mahomes had 52 interceptions that were called back due to flags.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
The other interesting thing about this game is these are two teams at the beginning of the year with the Bills. A lot of people wrote the Bills off because remember the mass exodus of the wide receiving core. And Kansas City really didn't have a wide receiving core. Yet here are these two teams who didn't have wide receiving cores in the AFC Championship game today. So that's going to be interesting to watch too. Of course, Kansas City went out and made the trade for D-Hop, but D-Hop hasn't been like the big poster child. I mean, he's gotten some plays, but D-Hop's not the D-Hop of old. So it's going to be interesting to watch how that works. And then, of course, we got Woody's favorite game coming up after that. The Sheagles, as he likes to call them, against the Commanders, or as I still call them, the Redskins.
Yeah, the Redskins.
You know what's funny? So the NFC North sends 3 teams to the playoffs. All 3 teams are one and done, and the NFC Championship is being decided by the NFC East.
Yep.
A division, mind you, that's usually, do you want to win it? No, you take it this year. No, it's okay. You take it, division.
I know. That's crazy. Yeah, the Eagles. I hadn't heard that one. I have heard the Vikings. So
yeah. I have all the names for them. Eagles.
Woody is not an Eagle fan.
No.
It's Woody's favorite team.
Oh yeah.
He's not a Bear.
He likes Philly, just none of the teams, right?
Yeah. Oh man, Pennsylvania.
He loves Penn State too.
Oh yeah, I'm glad they lost.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So for me, this game comes down to Saquon. I think that's always the case with them this year. Like, how do you stop Saquon this year?
It's not so much Saquon. Eagles, they do have the best offensive line in the league. I'm sorry to say. And you got to say Saquon, when he was at New Jersey, he did. That's when he started having the non-contact injuries. He wasn't getting like great yardage, but since just like Swift too, he had his best year while on the Eagles because of that offensive line. That's the only way Saquon is not like he's hurdling players every play or making a good cut this play. He's getting gaps, and that's the key.
And he can still take it the distance. He's still has the ability to outrun people. That's he and Henry both. I thought that was absolutely amazing this year.
I mean, I was just going to bring it up. Derrick Henry too. I mean, he's a big boy, but he's running like he's a Swift, like he's young and fast.
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah,
Washington's got a beat up run defense. It makes it even worse without Payne in. You're not going to stop Barkley, but if you could contain him and the offense for Washington click in and score point per point, that's the only way that they're going to win this game.
So they met twice this year. They split in the regular season. DC won the last one in DC. It was a nail biter game.
Last play of the game.
Look at DC is coached so well offensively. Kingsbury does what LaFleur does for the Packers. He puts that team in. He calls the plays that puts the team in position to maximize their potential. I guess it's the best way of saying that. Because when you look at this roster, outside of Scary Terry, nothing jumped out at you before the year. Yeah, they had the number 2 pick quarterback, which Woody loves. He loves the kid. And he's played well. He's been put in a good position. Their offensive line, personnel-wise, is not really better than what we have. But you can see the difference in coaching. They call the right plays, run the right scheme for the talent that they have on that team, and it puts up points. I wasn't surprised they beat Detroit because they have a mobile quarterback, which Detroit has problems with to begin with, but then they just called the right plays offensively and defensively. This is a team that before the year, everyone wrote off because there's a bunch of guys on one-year contracts that are retreads from other teams. But you put a motley crew like that together, and sometimes magic happens.
Well, and that's kind of the Washington history, going back to George Allen days with the Over the Hill gang. Get all those veterans to come in that were cast-offs and turn them into a team.
Kind of like the old Raiders, right?
The interesting, I see a meme today on Facebook. It had Dak and Jaden Daniels face to face. Dak won 2 playoff games in 9 years, and Jaden Daniels won 2 playoff games in 5 months. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And Dak's a good quarterback. I mean, he is. He's a decent quarterback.
There's another thing I heard too about there's something about this year's Super Bowl emblem. You know how it has Roman numerals?
Yeah.
There's 2 colors that I think they said somebody saw with those Roman numerals, and it was, I hate to say it was red and green. So that's why everybody's saying Chiefs, Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Again. The Illuminati conspiracy theorists.
Yep, absolutely. I hate to
Super
see
Bowl
it.
Conspiracy theorists.
I would hate to see it, but
I would too. I'd rather see it be blue and green.
Yeah, absolutely.
The NFL would like it because it's a rematch of 2 years ago, and if the Eagles could get the revenge on Kansas City, I mean, okay, the narrative sells for the NFL a lot better than Commanders Bills probably. But for this game, before we get there, so who are you guys taking for this game? So, like, Steve, are you taking the Commanders or are you taking Philly for this one?
I'm going to go with Philly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Woody, are you going to go with the Sheagles?
No.
Or are you just so
He's going with one.
I can't. I can't. Now, it's just like the Kansas City Buffalo game, too, when I picked. This is who I would like to win, but I don't see it. I think this is the same thing as well. I would love Washington to win this game, but do I see it? No. But that's why they play the games. They play twice a year, and you know the second game was the last play of the game, Jaden Daniels, and in Philly today it's about 10 degrees out. Obviously, Philly has a better running game than Washington does. But I'm thinking Jaden Daniels a more mobile threat than Jalen Hurts is. They both have this. Yeah. They both have designed plays for each other, both teams. I'm thinking Daniels is going to have to throw more to win this game.
Well, and Hurts isn't going to be as mobile because he's fighting some injuries. But this is another game where the weather will not make a difference to either of these teams.
Nope.
So Mike, who do you got in this game?
Even though Washington's beat up on defense, the way that Washington's offense been rolling, I got Washington to win the game.
Oh, man, Mike, happy birthday. I love you so much, man.
Mike, You know what? So my dad, for whatever reason, was a big Redskins fan. He grew up in Chicago, played high school football in Chicago. We lived in Chicago. For some reason, my dad always liked the Raiders, or not the Raiders. I liked the Raiders as a kid, but he liked the Redskins as a second team. I'm going to go HTTR. Also, when we were out there this year for that game.
Robbie.
Fan base was so welcoming to us as Bears fans. We tailgated with them in the stadium. Their USO section was phenomenal pre-game. Can't say, even after the game, like they could have been, oh my God, you guys suck, we won. Everyone was just super cool out there in DC. Those fans deserve it. So I'm going to go with HTTR and say hail to the Redskins, beat Philly today. And let's hope we get a Buffalo Washington Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wasn't that oh no, I was going to say, didn't Washington play Buffalo in one of the Super Bowls back then too?
I don't remember.
When they lost to 4 in a row?
Yeah, when Buffalo lost 0-4. I don't remember if they lost.
So that was what, 92?
4 in a row?
Yeah, I think they did.
I know they lost to the Giants. I know that because it's Scott no good. Scott no good. wide right. So.
Oh yeah, Steve, you hang out with us enough, you get all these.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Well, we do have an update. Bleacher Report just came across. Cowboys request interview with Bears assistant secondary coach Andre Curtis for their DC spot.
And the other breaking news is Dallas, did they hire Schottenheimer as their head coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Flus is their DC, so I was gonna say that's why you're gonna see some
Wow.
requests coming through from Dallas. Now you know what I think the Bears should do, honestly. Oh, you denied us an interview with Mike McCarthy? Nah, that's okay. You can't interview him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that'd be fair. Turnabout's fair.
And by the way, Bears fans, this very rarely happens. Very rarely do you see the head coach you just fired the next season against them. Well, it's going to happen this year as Eberflus will be coming back to Chicago when we host, whatever week it's going to be, when we host the Dallas Cowboys this year. He is their defensive coordinator, so we will see Flus back in Chicago this next season when Dallas comes to town. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, and what's with the Bears getting the second toughest schedule next season?
Yep.
Good night.
Well, I mean, it's based off this year's records. I mean, with our division. But then I hate the strength of schedule, and I posted it on X too, and so did Mike. And I really hate it because it doesn't account. It's just based off this last year. It doesn't account for any of the changes.
Yeah, but that being you have an easier schedule, not a harder schedule.
This year we started with the easiest schedule in the league when the year started. Oh, the Bears have the easiest schedule. Ended up having the hardest schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of that. But our division.
And I'll be going to the Bears Sheagles game in Philly this year.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Last time I was there, I was real excited. Bears lost 55-10 on Sunday night.
Oh,
jeez.
What year was that?
Oh, had to be last time that they were in Philly, probably about close to
8 years
10,
ago at least.
Yeah, 10 years ago, maybe 10 years.
It has to be 8 because we play the division every 4 years. It's home one set, away the next set, so it's an 8 years.
That's right.
8 years ago. Yep. 55-10 on a Sunday night. Very happy.
Yeah, national audience gets to see that. It's like watching the Seattle game on Thursday night this year. 6-3. Come on.
Yeah. Well, how about that Washington game? What, a couple years ago on a Thursday night? That was a boring game. I think we won like 15-10 or something like that.
Well, that was and the commentators are making it worse than it needs to be. Those guys are going, "Oh, geez, no touchdowns in this game. The offense, there's been 15 punts. Come on."
Right. And to add my comment to this, I seen a lot. Pete Carroll trying to get Russell Wilson to Oakland.
Wow.
Huh. Yeah, I mean to Vegas. Yeah, because Carroll is now in Vegas. That's a done deal. So we'll see what happens with Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, Broski with the Moski. Good morning.
What's up, Broski?
Yeah, the off season is gonna be interesting. I'm trying to get my wife to let us go back to DC to go see the Bears Commanders again.
Great. Now you jinx us with another Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's
let's not even think that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But hey, I'd like to thank everyone for being on. Steve, thank you so much for being on today. Enjoy the
Steve, thank you, man.
I enjoyed listening, guys. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Let me know how much you want for that pitcher, bud.
Okay. Well, you never know. There'll be a return address, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to me, and then I'll tease him with it.
Yeah, I know you would, you son of a bitch.
Don't forget tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East Coast. We'll have Ken and Ken in the morning as we do every Monday through Friday. We'll be back here next Wednesday night, or this coming Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 on the East. Was that 6 if you're in Denver? It's Colorado Mountain Time right now, right? 1 hour behind.
Yeah, 1 hour later. Yeah.
So there you go. 6 on the west in Colorado, 5 if you're on the west, right?
2
on Wednesday night.
If you're on the East, right?
No. The East, you're an hour ahead, Woody.
Oh, hour only.
Everyone enjoy the games today.
All right.
Next year, hopefully, we'll be there. Thank you for watching. Football will start here in a little bit, and we will talk to you all soon. Bear down.
All right, bear down.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails. NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.